Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Guy Toole. I am a co-founder, CEO of OneQR. I am joined by my esteemed EVP, Executive Vice President, Kathy Edmond, to go through OneQR in personal and professional development. And Kathy, this this webinar really is something I think hits home for a lot of folks. People that do a lot of training, support, coaching, mentorship. It gives them ideas on how to implement QR codes. QR code marketing has started to grow due to 2020. People identify the simplicity of what a QR code is from a consumer aspect, but now understanding how to implement this into our businesses to get the information out there on who we are, what we do, what we provide. So, OneQR in personal and professional development is where we're going to dive into today.
I love it. This is my jam. I'm excited about this one.
Yes, yes. A lot of times in this space, like I'd previously said, is people are looking to promote themselves. And we have
Mhm.
some great partnerships out there in the promotional product industry. And they utilize our QR codes on some of their products. And I think it really just speaks to how folks are diving into this QR code marketing space, something that's expected to be a 220 plus billion-dollar industry just in the next few years. And what that tells us why we feel our QR code platform is the bee's knees of all of them is that it gives us the ability to get our information out on what we do in the simplest form, right? A code, QR actually stands for quick response. So I want to
Mhm.
give somebody a quick response on getting that type of information. And we look at it in the coaching realm. I want to get my information out. Maybe it's my contact information, maybe it's my programs, and maybe it's additional things that I offer, but I want to be able to drive someone to a specific place instantaneously. And that's what consumers are really looking for.
Absolutely. And I think too is like, you look at these and you think about if the big brands are doing this, why aren't you doing this? Right? Because the big brands are out there promoting themselves. I mean, I can think of the places that I saw QR codes just this week alone. I mean, from going to get frozen yogurt, it was on the yogurt cup. It was on I told you the gentleman that came and worked in our house the other day, he had it on his badge. Big brands are using this. We need to be using this as speakers, coaches, any professional development that you're doing with people. And to your point, there's lots of different things that you can share with them with it.
Right. We really do want to bridge people that are offline. Once we're meeting, maybe we're at conferences. We want to get them online to that content. There's so much collateral that people are generating out there, and it's just how can I get them to it? I can tell you my URL web link, or I can provide you with a QR code to take you directly there. I can tell you where to go once you're on my website, or I can provide a QR code that takes you exactly where I'm talking to you about where you need to go.
Absolutely. And I think that's the point. Like, how many times have you heard that? Or I've heard it so many times in business meetings. Oh, let me spell my email for you. Let me spell the name of my company so that you can find me on social media. How about you just let me scan something?
Right.
To be
Let me
right
give you
to
my
it.
phone
Even
number.
better.
Oh, right. Let me give me my phone number. Oh, I've got a new phone number. And
Yep.
that QR code from the destination aspect it's huge to be able to control that. And with QR codes, we want to make sure that we provide a platform that is completely 100% dynamic. And there are
Mhm.
a couple different types of QR codes out there. There's static QR codes, which I think the majority of people might not know that that's what you're consuming. Those are the type of QR codes that you are scanning. A dynamic QR code is something that you really never have to regenerate a QR code because you can assign that destination, you can adjust it. What's awesome about OneQR is the dynamic ability to adjust it to almost any type of destination, right?
Yep.
contact information. I could adjust this to go to my website. I could adjust this to go to a text message to reach out and let's have a conversation. I can pre-fill in email, text message. I could even set this up to have a call. So being able to print a QR code on a sign. We talk to people all the time who, I just bought my big banner sign, the pull up one, and I realized that at the second show, that QR code's no longer relevant. So then here I am taping over a new QR code, and
We've seen it many times.
that doesn't look like my sign. I want to be able to control it. So years ago, we've had people talking about being able to do that. Well, we can do that with one QR. Adjust this at all times.
Well, we were just reading something the other day. What were we reading that somebody was like, well, QR codes are QR codes. There's you can't do anything besides reprint one. And I'm like, oh no, that's no longer valid, right? I think people don't realize that they are dynamic. They are something that you print one time, then you go into either your desktop or with us, your app, and you just change the destination. Oh, today I need this to go to a new, I have a new book offering. I have a new maybe you've got a new sales offer or new, something that you're offering a summer sale, and you
Mhm.
just want to change that link and change up what it's going to. You don't have to go refine something to download, refine a QR code, reprint it. You're good. You're in good hands with one QR.
Right. Dynamic is where we're at from the destination aspect, but also the the design of the QR code is something we really want to take into consideration, and being able to design that QR code to not just be a black and white little checker box anymore. It's something that we have to think about it in our marketing and what is our brand style, what fits with what we provide. Um, Being able to do that with a QR code, to have the color scheme, to have logos, to have banners. There's some huge advancements within one QR that I think take it to the next level, that really will allow people to get excited when they're generating some of their QR codes, because you can do so much more with one QR 2.0. And you've heard that, I guess, here. I wasn't going to talk too much about it, but one QR 2.0 is here. And these
We're
are
so
huge
excited we can't help
advancements,
it.
right? Can't even slow down. These are huge enhancements to one QR, a big differentiator to other QR code providers. And being able to say, I've got flyers, I got brochures, I've got webinars that I do. I want to make sure that the QR code might adjust along throughout the webinar based on the slide and what color it is, and the destination changes throughout. It's really something that, if we continue in our lives in marketing and continue to put blinders on, we're going to not see it coming. And when I mentioned, a 220 plus billion-dollar industry and where it started just a few years ago, that really is telling us that adoption is really going to start taking a big uptick, going in the skyward direction, because it will be a cost of doing business moving forward. And if we sit there and we're like, well, it's just another technology I have to learn. Well, we're all learning new technologies all the time. We're on this platform right now that our company was a very early adopter of, and we've seen the advancements of this webinar platform. And it grows. iPhones, Androids, there's new versions all the time. And in fact, the iPhone wasn't even around in the early 2000s, and see the advancements that they have. Smartphones are smart for a reason, and people are utilizing them for reasons. So when they say, I've got to learn a new technology, what's amazing about one QR is you don't have to learn much.
I was
You
gonna
just
say
have to
it's so
learn
simple.
learn to click, point, test, copy, paste, type. If you can do that, you are well on your way of being a expert in QR code marketing. And our duty at 1QR is being able to just give you use cases and how to
Absolutely.
implement and why to implement, I think are some of the biggest things that we need to think about throughout our QR code marketing ventures.
Well, and I think that, I mean, you and I both go to a lot of seminars, we go see a lot of speakers. I have speakers at all the events that I go to. I think that one of the things I've really noticed, and I love QR codes, but if you have speakers at an event and you have one speaker that finishes their talk and up on their last frame of their slide is, here's my information, right?
Mhm.
Their website's typed out, their phone number is typed out, their information's typed out. Yeah, that's great. You tried, right? But what are you going to see? You're going to get all the people that take a picture of that, put it into their phone pictures, and after 17,000 more pictures at that event, you may or may not get back to it, right? Where then you have the speaker who finishes and their slide has a QR code on it that goes to your point. Either here's my website, here's a form, here's how to get to my, email me, text me, call me. I mean, whatever it is you want to point your one QR code to, you have a lot better chance that when they opened up their phone and took the picture, what they did was scan your QR code and get right into your information.
Quick response.
Yep. Quick
Quick,
response. We're the quick
quick
response
response.
team here.
Exactly. And what I love about you leading into presentations, going to conferences, people talking about that, you do see that all the time. People are holding their cameras up or their phones and they're taking pictures of slides. And being able to have a QR code throughout, maybe at the end, to get access to that deck is something that can be offered. The contact information, the additional programs that they're providing, additional trainings that they have. We want to make it simple for the people that are in attendance to get access to it. And
Mhm.
that's where we really are living is that we live in a world of convenience anymore. People want to get instant access, gratification, satisfaction right now. And a QR code provides that to us. You're given examples. I saw one at the last conference that I was at, and it was scan the QR code to participate in the poll. And they had it going, the destination was to their polling system, and there was graphs. And you could see the interaction of the graphs up and down happening. And it gives everyone a, a sense of participation, and that
Absolutely.
QR code is what provided them to get there. They could have sat there and go and said, "Well, go to this website. Everyone do this. Type this in." And maybe there's a couple
What's the
misspellings, and
saying?
they
Some
never
will,
get
some
there.
won't. So what? Right?
Yeah, move on. But a QR code is going to give you the ability to attract more people at that time. I laugh about it quite often with my wife because she utilizes our platform in her business. And a QR code is the best friend of everybody. People that work
Agreed.
really hard, and we know a lot of them, that they're putting the time in and they're doing the work, and they implement a QR code. It takes it to the next level. It takes the recognition of what they're doing to the next level. They're getting more feedback, calls, emails, texts of how they would like to connect. But the people that think that they're working hard, that might just print a sign, the QR code's working for you. You can think you're working hard when that QR code is working for you, because people are intrigued enough to
Yeah.
see, where does this go? What information is it going to drive me to? So these are things to think about on why we should implement QR codes, why we should talk about others in implementing them. Because again, if you put the blinders on and you continue to move forward how you have moved, you're going to get left behind, and you will, just based on our smartphones all now have the camera lens that scans a QR code. Prior to 2020, you had to download a QR scanner to read a QR code. So we have big tech companies advancing the usage of QR codes without us ever knowing it. And now we can look at it and say, okay, to your point, Kathy, is now I need to implement it for myself, just not to be a consumer.
Absolutely. Well, and I love the slide, bringing value to small events. We have a lot of speakers that put on their own events. We have a lot of, coaches that are coaching, small groups. It doesn't mean that you have to be a small business, right? You could have all the tools that big business uses and use those with your coaching clients, like we talked about earlier. We have an app, right? So you can have multiple QR codes ready on your phone. You've already done all the work. You've got your PDFs, you've got your um, you know, uh questionnaires, you've got all the things that you need to coach your people. And now way to open your phone, write the right code and have them scan it on the fly. So it's literally got everything you've made and a way to present it to them quickly.
I've got nothing to add to that. That sounds fairly simple.
It sounds
We
fairly simple.
right? We and it is. And that's where we want to really explore and explain is that it is that simple. Sitting in Zooms, sitting in webinars, sitting in networking events that are online, being able to say, here's my information. You can scan it. You can
Yep.
download it. You can, if I have it set to a text, you can text me. That's how this personal and professional development, coaching, mentorship industry works is I've got to be able to get my information out there so we can connect. And I need people to take action on that. So generating backgrounds, generating those so I can have that QR code be relevant. And dynamically, I could sit here over on my other screen and adjust this QR code in real time. Granted, I'm not going to do that because I got too many windows and tabs open and will probably lose my spot. But just making sure that those are things that can be achieved and are very, very simple with one QR.
Well, there's so many different types of coaching, right? You want to make sure people know what is it you're coaching to? What is it they're subscribing to? Again, use those frames and explain to people where is it going to go when they scan this QR code. And maybe you want to touch for a minute or two on, we get the question all the time, security. How do they know what they're going to land on and know that this QR code that they're either making or scanning is secure?
And thank you for that because that is probably one of the utmost important items we wanted to make sure when generating and creating one QR is we sort of laugh about it internally. The four S's of one QR: secure, simple, sleek, and sexy. Those last two are putting makeup on it, but the first is secure. We want to make sure that we are generating and utilizing secure QR codes. Um, the security really has enhanced with 2.0. Um, as you see, each one of these QR codes are powered by oneqr.com. There's going to even be more advancements into that in the future. But with a dynamic QR code from OneQR, each one of these sort of have a splash in between landing page, letting the people scanning know what's going to happen. What happens with a static QR code, maybe you utilize a Google QR code with a dinosaur in the middle, right? That is a static QR code. It cannot be adjusted. I generate it once. I use it once. I need to get a new one. I have to go get a new one. Static QR codes fall into this realm, this security item called phishing. And what it means is somebody can sort of hack your QR code and adjust the destination of where it goes. And we're seeing malware, spam, different types of things happening. But when scanning a one QR code, you're going to get that security of it's a one QR code. This is a reputable platform. And we want to make sure that we have that in place. Another thing that's actually happening on the new version is when you generate your QR code and you have the destination of a URL or a link, it's going to tell you if you can utilize it or not based on security. We're utilizing a third party provider that will check to make sure that if you're going to be on one QR and you're generating QR codes, you are not going to do malicious activity utilizing our QR codes to people who are scanning it. So security is huge in everything. We hear about data breaches every day almost, it seems like. But if your QR code changes, it's because you changed it or you gave someone your username and password, and that's about it. So we say from that security aspect, don't use a password that is password or password 123. You've got to utilize some unique elements in generating those passwords. There's some great providers out there that create really strong ones that cannot really be hacked for you. So security obviously is a huge thing that we wanted to make sure we took care of for
Well,
one.
and I think one of the things that I've heard you say a couple times that I think is really good information is don't scan a QR code from a text message or an email. Is that correct?
Both. If you
Both.
receive a QR code through text or there's a QR code in the email, don't
So
scan it.
what? Yeah. What do we do? Talk about what your options are then, right? With one
So that
QR.
additional thing, there's so much there's so many little nuances throughout one QR. Each time a QR code is generated, a short link is generated, a 1QR.com slash a serial number. That is going to be the short link that essentially goes to the exact same place, the destination of that QR code. So what you do is you take that, you copy it from the system, from your app, and you utilize that short link in your text, your email, your social platforms. And it's hyperlinked. So every time someone selects it, it takes them to the exact same place as the destination of the QR code scan. An analytical piece lets us know that it's a iPhone scanning it, it's an Android scanning it, or it's a link click. So we know from uh, from our own knowledge how my QR codes are working and where they're working. That link is essentially a QR code without having to scan.
Yep. Absolutely. That's again, there's little things that if we're so used to seeing QR codes, but then you realize that without making them difficult, there is some really cool technology behind them.
There is, and talking with a lot of folks who understand, just a little bit of QR code marketing. When you sit down and you get the opportunity to have a conversation on the expansion into a dynamic QR code, it it sort of you see their wheels turning and they're
Yep.
like, wow, I can utilize this for contact, content, products, services, reviews. What differentiates you? And then their minds, right, it goes wild. And I can put it on my business card. I can put it on these brochures that I have. I've got some signage that I can get it on. I've got a vehicle that I can get this on. Heck, I might even get a billboard and put my QR code on it, right? That's where the ideas advance on use cases on that. How can I get more of my information out there? How can I differentiate myself compared to everybody else?
And track all those places, right? It's not like getting them out there, but it's tracking and knowing which ones are active and getting the most views.
Right, right. So we're going to get into the simplicity of generating a QR code with one QR.
You know how easy it is to scan a QR code. Let us show you how easy it is to make a QR code. Simply go to oneqr.com, enter your destination link, personalize your QR code with colors and patterns, enter an email and a password, and select Finish. You've created your first QR code. Select the QR code and you can download a PNG file. Want to know more things you can do with one QR? Check out our video series.
very simple. And it's sort of out with the old, in with the new. I know, Kathy, we've got a lot of work happening right now because of 1QR 2.0, and it's going to look a little bit different on generating your account. You can scan the QR code and try it out for free. That's one thing we implore and encourage everybody to try to do. Get an understanding of where I could utilize my QR code. I can even have my QR code as my digital business card at the top of my phone. It's something that we encourage everyone to at least try out, and you can do that for free. There are a few different subscription plans within 1QR. You can get access to our pro accounts, which will give you 50 QR codes. And there's an enhancements to what's being displayed here as well with 2.0, as well as unlimited. And when we say unlimited, you get access to generate unlimited QR codes, which there's nothing else out there that provides that to you. Um, I don't know. Yeah, we'll talk about the price of it just a little bit. So we can get locked in at our price right now for the next 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, price goes up, basically double, triple from what you'll experience on our subscription pages within 1QR. So try it out for free at a minimum, and then look to say, okay, I know I can have a QR code for this, and this. Well, what's that take me into? That takes me into a pro plan, and I can get a lot of value out of this. I can edit those QR codes like we talk about. Heck, I can even have it be a blue QR code and adjust it to green and have that blue one out there printed and adjust it to green in a different pattern and a different logo. What we know is these little pixels don't change. So the blue one's going to work from one that I did 10 days ago to the green one now. So think about those types of things. I can have different brochures, different flyers, but different business cards. I know people have, stacks of different business cards, and it's as simple as being this platform to give you the ability to generate your QR code that in that demo, you download it and you put it in your design. You send it to your printer. You get it how you want it to look and feel, and then you expand on that after.
Yeah, and I think the thing that I heard you say there that's the most important thing is number one, you own them. You own your QR codes, right? If you just rent a QR code, the ones that you use one time, you don't own that. You don't have any control over it. And number two is just have some fun with them, right? In different places. Let's see A/B test where they work better for you. I mean, I just think that there's so many places, like you said, and so many different ways to use them.
Right.
Is and don't be afraid. If you've got stuff in print now, use up what you've got,
Mm-hmm.
and then your next round, throw your QR code on there.
So what we love about the advancement with 1QR and especially 1QR 2.0 is the quick amount of changes and updates and features and different functionalities that are coming and that are here, and then ones that will come in, a couple weeks and a few weeks after that. You can follow, like, and share. All that information will be provided on our social platforms through, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook. Those are there for you to look to see what differentiates us, to provide to other people, to share those along and say, here's an idea. You're in this profession, and here's something that can differentiate you, set you apart right now. And maybe in a year or two, it's something you have to do because this is what everyone else is doing, how they're getting their information consumed. So we've got some amazing resources. We're working long hours behind the scenes for use cases, implementation. How would I put this into my vertical, my information getting out there? um, trainings, webinars, white papers. There's a ton of resources available through 1QR that we're essentially giving to you to say, this is collateral you can use for yourself to talk to others, or this is collateral to use for yourself on this is why I should do this. And this is where I need to take these blinders off and advance my marketing, my outreach, my skill set to be able to have people in this market now uh, who are looking for instant information and gratification and satisfaction to provide something to them to get where I want them to go instantaneously.
Absolutely. Yeah, go in our community. You're gonna get emails, you're gonna know what's going on first, you're gonna have all kinds of updates and check out the video series. I mean, our team makes us look like this is really easy, but believe me, there's how many takes go on behind the scenes? A lot of takes go on behind the scenes to make sure that Guy and I get you the right information.
So we appreciate you all joining us today. We hope you enjoyed this. This will be uploaded over into our YouTube channel. Look for 1QR.com over on YouTube. Follow, like, share there. And we will see you on our next one, which I believe is next week, talking about security. So
With all kinds of updates for 2.0.
here are. Everyone have a great day. Thanks again for joining us. Bye bye now.